Alright guys, so I'm finally getting around to cutting up the Tundra here to properly clear these 37s. 37 inch by 12.5 on 20 Kanadi mud hogs on the 20x9 fuel cycles with the +1. Now the driver's side right here is mainly the problem child. For some reason the other side doesn't rub the same way this side does. The main issue I'm dealing with is going to be this metal chunk right here. I don't know what it's for or what it's called, but it's on both the driver and the passenger side. It hits this part of the body pretty good too, and that is the loudest and super embarrassing. So we're cutting that off right there, cutting up the inner fender liners right here, front and rear. It's popped out of this screw before. It's popped out that push clip right there. I've had to re-screw this back on. All right, so the wheel's completely straight right now. We'll turn it over not even one time, and you guys will see that it makes contact with the body. And it's pretty embarrassing sound. So once we pass it though, we're good. And then if we turn it over, so now we're at 1 turn and a quarter, right at about 1.5 turns, we start to make contact. Oh, yep, see? It's so brutal, dude. We make contact on that metal piece. That thing right there definitely needs to be removed. So we head on down to Harbor Freight, grab some tools, and get to cutting. Let's get it. Start here with the driver's side, trimming up the driver's side because the driver's side does rub the worst. So anything we do here on the driver, we can just imitate onto the passenger side. It'll definitely clear over there because the passenger side is not really a problem in most areas as it is here on the driver's side, except for this piece right here. We'll leave that on the passenger side and just chop it off here on the driver because this thing is an absolute nuisance here on this side and it hasn't made contact once yet with the passenger. So thing pretty much toast, but check this out right here too. So it's rubbed this piece so much that it rubbed off the coating too. So I'm gonna pull off a couple bolts right here. These 3 right here attached to the fender flare. 1, 2, 3, 4 in here, and then peel back the fender liner here and see what we have behind. So here's a better view of what we have going on behind the fender liner. So we have this giant piece right here, which acts as a support for the fender liner. So we have 2 bolts in there. We'll undo those and then remove this entire piece here. And then we'll cut this piece off as well, which does look hollow, which is good. So we'll cut this off, leave a little bit of excess. We can shave it down. Got some new stuff here from Harbor Freight, including a face shield because safety is of the utmost importance. So we got one of those right there and a little Dremel kit right here too. Right there for the detail work, cutting off the fender liner, cut off wheels for that as well right here. So that goes with that right there. And then we have some new cutoff discs as well as some sanding discs. Harbor Freight tool right here, boy, it's getting hot and surprisingly working pretty well though for an abrasive disc from Harbor Freight. I mean, I didn't have super high standards, but it's cutting off pretty good. I have some metal ones too, but those normally take a lot longer. But yeah, same disc, and I've cut through the top now, the bottom and the side. Next thing I'm going to work on is this piece right here, which doesn't make contact with the outer part of this panel. It's only rubbing right about there. So it's making pretty good contact and it's catching on this and making a lot of noise. So I'm probably only going to cut a very small margin off from the bottom to right about here. So I'm really only removing what's outside of what would be flush right here. So I'll make pretty much the outer skirt flush with this right here, and then just chop some off the bottom so it's not rubbing on this right here, and then just kind of do a little like angle cut right there, and then a little off the bottom, and then right into where I'd kind of have it cut right there, and then go straight up. Probably not the right tool for this job. Wow. Okay. All right, so that was a bit of a different approach than I had originally planned. So the Dremel didn't work very well at all, kept bogging out. So went back to the cutoff tool, threw the metal disc on there, ended up using the side of the blade right here to just kind of shave back this panel. And I just ended up eyeballing it so it's nice and uniform with the fender from this line up. I didn't cut this at all or shave this back at all, just the part down here, and it looks really nice. So it came out good there. And then I cut off that plastic support right here and shaved this area back a bit. Time to cut the fender liners a little bit. We're gonna give the Dremel one last chance. Hopefully it can at least cut through some fabric. Looking good back here, nice clean cut. Backside's pretty much good to go. Just reinstall the bolt. Behind here is a plastic support. So what I'll do is pretty much trim it right below these 3 bolts, right up top of these 2 tabs and that 1 bolt, and then trim up that plastic support right there as well. And we should be good to go in the front. And just like that, looking good. Everything's been reinstalled. Hit it with some paint over there. Now it's time for the fun part, mounting up a 37-inch tire. No longer have any rubbing, turning left. Let's go. What a luxury this is. Turn my wheel all the way to the left. Gently, gently. Oh no. Do I feel rubbing? I don't think so. I don't know. I couldn't tell. I don't think so though. Let's turn it all the way left here and see. Let's lock it in position right there. Hold it, hold it. Felt a little vibration, not too sure. Oh no, dude, we're totally clear over here. Except for, I mean, that piece right there though, I mean, that might rub, it will rub for sure. If the tire goes up a little bit. So if we hit a dip or something like that, or do some off-roading, we'll definitely have to shave that back quite a bit to clear the widest part of the tire right there. But on level ground, it's totally clearing, which is awesome. We have tons of room now between the tire and the piece we cut off. But yeah, the closest part is gonna be this little plate right here. So if we do plan to do some off-roading and stuff like that, which obviously we do, we're gonna have to cut that back right there. But for the sake of daily driving, I mean, this seems to be pretty fine. I didn't do the passenger side because for the sake of comparison, I want to show you guys what we cut off the driver's side versus the passenger, what the passenger side looks like versus the driver now. And we're not rubbing too bad here on the passenger side anyway, so it's not like an emergency. I mainly wanted to get this trimmed up before I dropped it off at the dealership because they're gonna be doing all kinds of turning and not knowing how to manage, and I don't like anyone rubbing my truck, except me. I trimmed the front up, as I mentioned, last night, and that came out really nice. Trimmed the plastic piece behind it, and then took the Dremel, which, dude, the Dremel was putting in some severe work last night. It was having a hard time keeping up, but got the job done. But yeah, as far as the trimming of the fender liner back here, so there's different ways you can do it. I cut more than I probably would have if I didn't already ruin my fender liner. You can also cut it to where it's still covering this plate right here for the sake of aesthetics. It doesn't look terrible to me. I don't mind it one bit, seeing that plate right there. But if you want to leave that flap down, since we removed that metal support bracket back there, we can now pin the fender liner further back. And then same with the this plate right here, we can drill a hole and then use a retaining clip to nail it back, so it's covering this piece right here. I also lost that retainer clip right there with the tire pulling off the fender liner. It caused us to lose that. So what I'll probably do is drill a hole into this section here, and then throw a retainer clip in there, and then get a retainer clip for that piece right there. And then we'll go and grab some door edge to put over the edge here of the panel there. So anyways, that's what we got going on. It looks pretty good for the sake of just daily driving. But like I said, if we were to articulate that wheel a little bit, then the tire here is definitely gonna go into that piece right there. But we are clearing this just fine. But yeah, likewise with this right here, let me turn the wheel back, show you guys what I'm talking about. Do the extendo Lego. Turn the wheel back a little bit. So now we're at one full turn right there. We do clear the body just fine now. So we're not gonna have any issues with this side skirt right here. Even if the tire gets pushed up, we're totally clear here, even on the widest part of the tire. So we're good there. But again, that piece right there would be the problem. We have to cut that back a bit more if we want to totally clear this side. But just for comparison's sake, that is the after right there in the front. Shows a little more of the retractable air dam right there. And then that's what it looks like right down there. That piece we cut off, hit it with some spray paint. You can now see that metal plate right there. And that's what I was talking about right here. Since mine's already ruined, I had to cut it off.